And with that, we say welcome into the best damn sports podcast, period. The undisputed champion of sports podcast. This is Sentell. I am your host, the sensational Sentell Whiteman, aka Mr. No Days Off, aka the One Man Dynasty. Got a great show today. I got two guests gonna join me later on. We're gonna talk about the NFL from yesterday. We're gonna talk about the national championship game tonight. Michigan, Washington, 14-0 versus 14-0 for the right to be called the national champion of college football. That game starts at 7:45, I believe. That's why I got it here. I'm gonna get in here, get out of here. We also gonna, like I said, we're gonna talk about the NFL action from yesterday. Look forward to the Super Wild Card Weekend, which I absolutely love. Super Wild Card Weekend. I absolutely love this format, especially when your team has the number one overall seed. I really love it, but I love the Super Wild Card Weekend. 3 games on Sunday, 2 games on Saturday, and then 1 game Monday night. I kind of like the 3 days, the 3 games, 3 games on the 2 days. But I see I understand the vision of the Monday night football game. I get it. So that whole weekend, I love it. The one bye is just super important now. You need to have that. I mean, it's of the utmost that you get the number one seed now without two teams getting that bye. But again, welcome into the program. You know who I am again, the sensational Sentell Whiteman. I'm about to be joined by a man this guy was here from the beginning. This guy has been in here from the beginning. He's been in studio. He's done the Zoom thing. But this guy's a mainstay. This guy is a Sentell's Intel legend at this point. I mean, this guy has been affiliated with this shit since the start with. I appreciate this brother so much because he's seen the vision. He's always been there. Let me get him up here. Greenwood's finest. One of Greenwood's finest. Oh, if I can get him up here. Hold up. Let me get him up here. Thought I got him up here. Hold up. There he is. Hold up. Let me get the other guy. I got Kiwi up here. Yeah. I got Kiwi Dennis up in here too. I apologize. I didn't see you get in here. I didn't see you get in here. I had two guests. I didn't see you get in here. So I missed you. Let me get my guy up in here. Okay, there we go. There we go. I apologize, Wentworth. I apologize so much.
Going on? I heard that, man. Heard that. Love the
Wentworth.
introduction. What's
I,
happening? What's that?
I missed you because I got Kiwi and I was thinking because I didn't see Kiwi get in here and he's still not saying anything. So
Yeah.
I don't know if he can hear us or not. Can you hear me? Kiwi, can
Oh,
you hear us?
okay.
Yeah. I was letting Wentz go. You know, he won yesterday, so he can go first.
Listen, I didn't even plan this. I swear to God, I didn't plan this because we're going to talk about this in a minute. We're going to definitely get into this. I didn't plan this at all. When I talked to
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that part of this conversation. But since we're here, and we're gonna talk about yesterday's action, a lot of games that contribute to the playoff standings that had a lot of impact to do with what we got going on this weekend. But I'll start with Kiwi. I'll start with Wentz. He was on the winning side of this. You didn't make the playoffs either, but uh, just thoughts on the season as a whole for your Tennessee Titans. What you think y'all do going forward from this point?
Right now, um, it's it was a disappointing season. We tried to patch holes and it ended up getting unraveled. And it was a rough season. We lost a lot of games, a lot of close games, and unfortunately, you know, uh, yesterday was potentially the King's last game in Nissan Stadium. You know what I'm saying? As a Titan, and it was very sad to hear that speech at the end of the game. But one of the bright spots is that we got our future quarterback. So that's a beautiful thing to see. Moving forward. We got $100 million in cap. So I'm ready for the off season, man. I'm ready to improve and get back to our rightful position, which is on top of the AFC South. But
Oh,
congratulations to the Texans because they went out there and did their thing. CJ Stroud, Rookie of the Year. I got nothing but respect for him.
So I'm gonna jump to Kiwi in a second. So you believe in Will Levis?
I'm believing in Mayo right now.
All
I'm
right.
believing in the Mayo, man. You
All
know,
right. All right.
he showed me a lot. But go ahead.
You know, I was gonna tell Kiwi, I was gonna ask Kiwi, man, just an absolute disappointing season for the Jags. I mean, they were 8-3, number one seed, and then the wheels just fell off.
Yeah.
I try to put into words what this season was like. I mean, I don't even know where to begin with this.
Just huge disappointment, man. Like I said, we was 8-3 and the number one seed in the AFC, and then we end up not even making the playoffs.
Whew.
That's heartbreaking. One thing about the NFL though is if you got holes and you got things that you're bad at, eventually they're gonna get exposed. And that's basically what happened. We lack of depth, not strong up the middle on offense or defense, and come playoff time, those are the things that turn around and bite you. You know what I'm saying? That end up causing you not to move on and go to the next level or the opportunity to play for a championship. Honestly, the crazy thing about the game yesterday is we were in the exact same situation last year, and kind of the Titans were in a similar situation as well. They had a little bit of a collapse
Right.
going into that last game of last season, but if you win the game, then all of that collapse stuff go out the window. So, but that's the thing. You got something to play for. You win the game, and that's all it is to it. You going on, you moving on to the playoffs. But we didn't show up. That's the bottom line. We didn't show up. I know Wentz said he was a little sad about the whole Derrick Henry speech and everything. But I for one am happy that I don't have to see this dude in the Titans jersey anymore. Like I'm glad. Move on. Go somewhere else. Move on with your life.
Potentially.
Something else.
Go ahead, Wes.
Potentially. We don't know yet, but potentially he's moving on. We don't know yet.
Kiwi, if you had to
Potentially, man. But
put a percentage on it, who's at fault? Who if you had to put a percentage on it, who's at fault? Coach, quarterback, defense. What percentage would you put on those positions and categories if you had to put a percentage on it?
Coaching get a lot of because they didn't make they don't make adjustments in the game. Like that's offense and defense. That's been pretty much the same way all year. Like you take yesterday for instance. You go into the game, really you're not worried about Tannehill, so you should be keyed on Derrick Henry. And Derrick Henry, he ran wild like he always do against the Jags. But the crazy thing is like you talk about it. The first half went through. He ran wild in the first half, and then you get out in the second half, and the man break a 69-yard run. Like you didn't talk about that for the whole halftime to make adjustments to it. He break a 69-yard run. Like come on, man, like, you got to make adjustments. So I'm gonna give 40% to the coaches for not making any adjustments. 30% go to the GM because the GM didn't make any changes. He wanted to run it back. So obviously this wasn't a roster to run it back with. You need to make some kind of adjustments, even at the trade deadline. You see you had some holes and you didn't make any adjustments or trades at the trade deadline. So the GM get 40%, and then the players, they probably get the other 20. So 40 to the coaches, 40 to the GM, and then the 20 to the players because they laid down, regardless of the fact the players still laid down. So there you go.
Death,
Enough
taxes,
for everybody.
Death, taxes, and Derrick Henry running wild to get the Jacksonville Jaguars. You can set your clock to it. You can set your damn clock to it. I like. I text Keith during the game. I'm like, this is every game, every season. It's been like this. But let's move along. We got a comment already. Shaquille Rowe, NFL strip writers, working overtime yesterday. What a slate of wild card games and narratives we have this week. Yeah, super excited. Yeah, it's some big time games. Before we get to those big time games, let's look back to yesterday's game. Obviously, we had Buffalo and Miami last night. A matchup to decide the AFC East, and look, I don't want to be. I don't like to be that guy. I don't like to be that guy who put dirt on people and stomp them while they down. But I told y'all Tua Tagovailoa is just a guy. Hey, he's just a guy. He's just a guy, and he showed me nothing last night that would change my mind. That you have to put a lot of weapons around him in order for him to look good, and that's okay. And that's okay. But let's accept what he is. And don't give me all this nonsense about how elite he is and he could do this everywhere. Because he couldn't. Because he can't. The guy scored 7 freaking points in a must-win game at home with the most dangerous offensive weapon in the NFL. They scored 7 points last night. So I don't hear any more about the damn Dolphins or Tua Tagovailoa. I don't hear any more about that. On the Bills side of it, Josh Allen is what he is. I mean, he's part Superman, part Clark Kent. And I mean, he does it in mid-game. He does these things. And I'm like, why did you make that throw? Why did you throw that ball? And then he makes some plays like, nobody else can do that. Nobody else can do that. But I'll go to you first, Wentz. Thoughts on Miami going to the playoffs and Buffalo heading to the playoffs? Thoughts on those teams? What are their chances in the AFC?
Really, they don't. Neither one of them have a chance because I got Baltimore wrapping it up. But I'm pretty much on the same wagon with you when it comes to Miami. Tua he is what we thought he is. You know, he's just a regular guy unless you got pieces around him. And like you said, you got the most dangerous piece in the NFL, and all you can give up is 7 points. That's unacceptable. I just think, unfortunately, with their first wild card game against the Chiefs, you know, it's really that's gonna be one tough game to choose from. But congratulations to Buffalo. You know, I definitely did not see them winning this division at the beginning of the year, but congratulations to them.
Kiwi, your thoughts on Miami and Buffalo?
I think Buffalo is one of those teams that I think teams were actually secretly hoping they didn't get into the playoff because they start heating up right at the right time. They made the change with the offensive coordinator, and Joe Brady is calling plays a whole lot better than Ken Dorsey was. So I mean, the Bills are going to be a dangerous out in the playoffs for I mean they can rival the Ravens. I know the Ravens has a better defense, but I mean you can't count out, like you say, you can't count out the Superman that Josh Allen has been playing. But the Dolphins on the other side, they've been reeling a little bit, kind of like the Jags. But I mean it's mostly injury, so I won't fault Tua for last night because I know he had Tyreek Hill, but Tyreek Hill he's still playing hurt. He without Jalen Waddle, he without Mostert. So I mean they don't have a whole lot of weapons outside of Tyreek when they didn't have a lot of weapons last night. That is because they got some injuries that roll up. I mean you do have Achan, but yeah, I mean you can't fault Tua completely. Now he didn't look good last night, but obviously. I mean, I don't think no quarterback looks completely, like a Slayer without some of their top guys. So can't fault them completely for that. But I mean, I think they should bounce back as long as they get some of these injuries come back. So they should be all right. They'll be a tough out in the playoffs, I think, because they can still score with the best of them.
I'm like Wentz at that game at Kansas City. It's supposed to be 0 degrees, -7 wind chill. I just don't like I don't like the chance. This is not a great Kansas City team at all. I think defensively they're pretty good, but offensively Kansas City ain't that great. But that weather, the injuries that you mentioned already, I just don't like the chances moving forward. All right, let's turn our attention to a team that y'all very familiar with, the Houston Texans. They go into Indianapolis. They beat the Colts. They win the division with a rookie head coach and C.J. motherfucking Stroud. I'm not sure. I'm pretty confident he's a top 5 NFL quarterback right now. But let's talk about Texas a little bit. Can
I
they
agree.
make some noise? Can they have a chance against that Cleveland defense? I know it's gonna be cold, maybe some weather involved, but I know you guys like CJ Stroud. Talk about Texas a little bit. I know it hurts y'all heart to talk about Texas. I'll start with you, Wentz.
Hey, to answer your first question, I'm gonna put him in there as the top 5 quarterback in the league right now. That kid, man, he shows poise, confidence, smart. That kid, I mean, throwing for over 4,000 yards rookie year. I mean, that kid he's talented, man. He's talented. Every time he plays, they always have a chance. I'll give them that. They always have a chance. against the Cleveland Browns, that's gonna be a tough one, especially with the way that Joe Burrow has been playing. Um, and that Cleveland defense is something else. But man, I want to give the Texans a chance, but I think they fall to the Cleveland Browns. I think they fall to them.
Take off, Jay.
I'm gonna go a little bit opposite there, man. Honestly I think that the Texans can pull this game off. First, they playing at home, they got a hot quarterback, and one thing about Joe Flacco, he has been playing good football, but he will turn the ball over, and in the playoffs, turnovers are magnified. So I think that's gonna be something that goes in the Texans' favor. This is a rematch. They played earlier in the year, which the Browns I think won that game. But I mean, this was before you got that ascension of CJ Stroud taking off. And to your point, CJ Stroud is the opposite of Tua. He doesn't need super weapons to be effective. Like, he's playing down his top receiver in Tank Dell, and they still putting up numbers on offense. He had what, 4 or 5 incompletions on the day on Saturday. So
he was special
this guy,
Saturday.
the kid's a baller, man.
Yeah, he was special Saturday. I mean, from the first play of the game, they deep ball to Nico Collins over the top, and like you said, without Tank Dell, it's gonna be tough to go into Cleveland. But like you say, the hot quarterback, man, I tell you, something about those type of guys that can take regular guys that not household names and lift them. And he's a lifter. He is a bus driver, like Charles Barkley say. He is what Cam Newton called a game changer, not a game manager. There is a difference. He is a game changer. All right, let's moving along. Let's go to the NFC a little bit. What in the hell has happened to the Philadelphia Eagles? They have lost their last 5 out of 6 games. They look horrible. Defense has been bad all year. Now Jalen Hurts is kind of reverting back. The passing game has went completely awry. They can't stop anybody on the back end. They traveled to Tampa. They fell already from the 1 seed to the 5th seed. They were 10-1. They were 10-1. We talked about the Jags earlier, 8-3. Now we talk about 10-1. The Eagles. I'm gonna ask you guys, because I can't explain what has happened to this guy. Basically the same roster, other than Chauncey Gardner Jr., pretty much the same roster. And now they got to travel to Tampa, Baker Mayfield look like hot garbage. Yes, they get Carolina. They don't look like they have a lot going on. So it's two not so great teams going to the game. So thoughts on the Eagles and what you expect in this weekend? I mean, Monday night against the Buccaneers. I'll start with you again, Wentz.
The Eagles. Oh man, I don't know what's going on. I've been seeing a lot of reports about unfortunately, an old Titan by the name of A.J. Brown has been causing a lot of stir and a lot of division in the locker room and everything. So, unfortunately, once that happens, that pretty much just brings the whole team right down. Unless they can fix that situation, by this weekend, who knows? But I also, like, their running game is not the same as it used to be. I don't know because they ain't got Swift or the guy that went to Carolina. I can't think his name.
Miles Sanders.
Their running game. Yeah, Sanders. Yeah. They're definitely not the same team no more. Defensively, I thought with the addition of Kevin Byard, I actually thought that the backside of the defense was gonna be okay, but apparently it's not. It didn't fix nothing. So I don't know, man. It's gonna be tough because you got a guy like Mike Evans, Chris Godwin coming to town, but at the same time you got Baker Mayfield who's the quarterback. So it's like, what Baker are you gonna get? You don't know. So that's a tough one. But I'm gonna go with Tampa. I'm gonna go with Tampa in this one because I think they're better to pull it off. They're more of a team, and I just think they'll be, with Philly and all the issues, and I know Jalen being banged up. I honestly think Tampa find a way to pull it off.
Keith, your thoughts on the Eagles and in general, and then thoughts on the game this weekend, Monday.
Yeah, I honestly, I think it does have a little bit, like he mentioned, Wentz mentioned AJ Brown. I think that is a little to do with it because you'll see a lot of forcing of balls that Jalen Hurts is doing now that he wasn't doing last year at all. He's spreading the ball around.
I
Like you
agree.
said, they did have a much better running game last year. Yeah, they their running game was much better last year. Also, I think the offensive line, they're a good offensive line, but they're old. So I think a lot of that actually is falling into that as the season go on. It's a long season, start to wear and tear on the guys a little bit. Um, they did. This is another rematch of earlier in the season. I think the Eagles won that game. The Bucks are at home, but it's not a huge home field advantage. In Tampa, I think the Eagles win this game and partially because Baker Mayfield has been hurt the last couple of weeks, and he has not looked the same, the last couple of weeks. So he's willing himself through the games, but he's not the same quarterback he was maybe like 3 or 4 weeks ago when he was playing healthy and looked a little bit like the Baker from Oklahoma days. But this should be a good game. But both teams are reeling a little bit. And in that case, I tend to go with the more talented team, and the Eagles are the more talented team here, so I think they'll win this one.
I,
Easily.
I kind of agree with you on that part. At some point, the talent gonna win out. I think the Eagles are more talented, and I know they just look defeated right now, look deflated. But if they were playing anybody other than the Buccaneers, I think they would be over with. But after what I saw from Buccaneers yesterday against Carolina, uh, they're not very good at all. So but I'll go with the Eagles, like you say. I'll take talent at this point. The trunk they went out. So let's move along. We got Detroit, the Lions. The Lions. These ain't your daddy's lines. These ain't your daddy's lines. The 12-5 Detroit Lions, the winner of the NFC North Division. Jared Goff led a top 5 offense. He was second in the league in yards, third in touchdown, I believe. What a job they've done. Dan Campbell and that crew, but they get to take on an old familiar face and Matthew Stafford and the Rams, who've been playing really good as of late, with Kyron Williams taking over at running back, Cooper Kupp, and the sensational rookie Puka Nacua. I've been working on that. I worked on that all day. Puka Nacua broke all the rookie receiving records in the NFL yesterday if you weren't paying attention. So this is a great matchup. Matthew Stafford going back to the place where he got drafted at against a good Detroit team. So, Wentz, I'll start with you again. What are your thoughts on the Lions this season and this game Sunday? I think it might be Saturday. I can't remember.
I'm really proud of the Lions. The job that Dan Campbell has done with the Lions, the offensive coordinator Ben Johnson, he needs a lot of credit. Like, he needs a lot of credit for what he's done and for what he's able to bring out of Jared Goff. Those guys are just they are playing ball right now. Like, you can't say nothing bad about them. They are playing ball. At the same time, the Rams are playing ball too. Matthew Stafford and Puka Kupp, my man Karen, man, like them guys, like they are balling. I'm gonna actually go with the Rams. I'm gonna go with the Rams. Matthew Stafford, Puka Kupp. I trust those guys. I trust Stafford to go out there and play. Not as such as a game manager, but I expect him to be turnover free, make the right decisions, and go out there and get the W.
Keith, thoughts on the Rams and Lions? Thoughts on the Lions in general this season? 12-5 Lions.
The Lions, I mean, they've been playing ball. Not just last year. If you recall back to not just this year. I mean, if you recall back to last year, the Lions barely missed out on the playoffs, and they were one of the hottest teams at the end of the season. So they just have compounded on what they went through last year. They've improved on the defensive end. Defense was a real issue last year. Not to say that they have a great defense now, but it's definitely improved from what they had last year. The offense is still amazing, and they added a weapon. I hated to see Laporta go down yesterday because Laporta was having a special season. Like you said, Nacua broke all the rookie records for wide receiver, but Laporta broke all those same rookie records for rookie tight end yesterday. So, but he got hurt, so I don't know what the prognosis is of that injury just yet. It looked pretty bad. Like definitely he's gonna miss some time. But Dan Campbell is one of those coaches that you root for. He rolled the dice yesterday and said, I didn't want to sit my players, even though my position was already locked up in the playoffs, because he didn't want the team to not be hot rolling into the playoffs, and you got to respect that. As a coach going into it. This is Jared Goff's chance to kind of redeem himself against the Rams, who told him basically by trading him that he wasn't good enough to win the championship on a roster that they stat to be a championship roster. So I'm looking forward to see how he handles that. I think the Lions are the better team, so I think I'll pick the Lions if you ask me to pick a team. But yeah, it should be a really good game. This is probably one that I'm looking forward to. One of those I'm looking forward to the most.
Jared Goff got a chance, y'all. He got a chance to He got a chance to let the naysayers know. He got a chance to let a naysayer know. This is a game Jared Goff can do that. I mean, you let me go, you traded me. You got a chance to pull it out right now. You got a chance to make the let the naysayers know. Let them know, Jared Goff. I'm going to go Lions on here. I know everybody's jumping on the Rams ship right now. That they got the hot quarterback, Super Bowl veteran quarterback. But the Lions been playing good football, especially at home. Other than Thanksgiving Day, and they lost to a team, we'll talk about him in just a second, at home. And that's a special team. That's a special player. So I'm going to go with the Lions. I just think they're better. I think they're better overall. You can't name, other than Aaron Donald, y'all can't name one defensive player for the Rams. Not one. I can name a couple for the Detroit Lions. They got a great defense, but I think Aiden Hutchinson and that pass rush is a lot better than the Rams pass rush other than Aaron Donald. You can't name a guy on the defense. So I'm gonna ride with Jared Goff. He has a chance to let the naysayers know. So let them know, Garrett. Let them know. All right. Moving along. Yesterday was the Cowboys defeating the Commanders to clinch the NFC East to take the 2 seed. They will take on the Green Bay Packers and Jordan Love, ladies and gentlemen. Packers, how teams wait 50 years to get one. The Titans had a franchise since Steve McNair. Keith would tell you the Jags since Mark Brunell. And I'm not even called either. I think Steve McNair borderline elite at times. He won an MVP. Brunell. But the Green Bay Packers had 3 of these guys. They had the potential for 3 of these guys in 3 decades. 3 of these guys in 4 decades. They have a chance. Jordan Love looks special. He was second in leading TD passes. He looks like the real deal. And my God, how can you be so lucky? You know what? Is there nothing in Green Bay but Lambeau Field? Maybe that's it. Maybe this guy, we got to give you something. The sports guys say, we got to give you something. But this Cowboys, Dak Prescott, he was outstanding all season. I told people at work all year long, they talked about Dak. And yeah, some of the things they may say is true. I said when the season ends, he's going to have 4,000 yards and 40 TDs. I think he had 36 TD passes, but I'm sure he ended up with some rushing TDs. So it just doesn't surprise me. They have offensive talent galore. They got receivers everywhere. CeeDee Lamb has emerged as this number 1 guy. He's big time. Jake Ferguson looks like he's big time. Brandon Cooks. They got weapons everywhere. So I'm not surprised by the numbers they put up. Defensively, they can't stop the run, but their game plan is to get ahead and then rush the pass. That's what they do. But this is an intriguing matchup. The young quarterback, Jordan Love, heads into Dallas, where they haven't lost a game, like 16 straight wins for the Cowboys at home. So, Wentz, what chance do you get the Packers of going into Dallas and pulling up an upset?
I'm giving them a big chance. Or something you just said. The Cowboys can't stop the run, and Aaron Jones and Corey Dillon, I expect them to be able to run that ball down Dallas Road, and Jordan Love to cut them up and go off a play action, cut them up, and pretty much go into Dallas and get them a W. I definitely think Aaron Jones and Dillon are about to have a big game this weekend. So I'm going with Green Bay on this one.
Jay?
Yeah, the Cowboys, like you say, Stump, they've been great. Some games, like the game against San Francisco, they don't show up at all. Or I forget where they played, where they ran
Buffalo.
straight through them the whole
Buffalo.
entire game. Buffalo ran straight through them. And Buffalo is not even a team that you would mildly consider a run team. So, I mean, that it come down to, can you trust Dallas? I don't know that I can trust Dallas. I think they win this game, but I think I don't think that they win any other game other than this one in the playoffs. So yeah, I think they can muster up enough to beat the Rams here. So it should be a good game. Not the Rams, I'm sorry, to beat
Green Bay.
to beat beat the Packers. But yeah, it should be a good game. Dallas, I'll take Dallas if you ask me to pick between the two teams. So I think Dallas can win this one. They have enough offense and they're playing at home. They don't have to go to Lambeau, so that's a big plus.
Yeah, I mentioned one thing. I mean, it's hard not to pick the Cowboys at home 16 straight, and they prolific on offense. And I don't think Green Bay got enough defensively to slow them down. But I will mention that Matt LaFleur, Kyle Shanahan, that's Sean McVay, that's Mike McDaniels from Miami. Everybody that looks at these guys, offense, all this mind and all this creative play calling, but at their heart, at their core, they want to run the football. They want to run the ball. And like Wentz said, Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon ain't slouches. But I just don't think they'll be able to have enough defense to hold up against the Cowboys and what C.D. Lamb and them guys have been doing offensively. But I'm telling you that Matt LaFleur, watch out, Cowboys, watch out. That 7-point spread, a little iffy on that one. All right. Got a little comment from Shaq. I talked about that top 5 quarterback he has: Lamar, Mahomes, Purdy, Dak, and C.J. Stroud in his top 5 right now. Shaq talking about the Cowboys haven't lost a game at home. We'll win this week, but it will be close. I agree with that. Darius Ellington says, Love has to stay clean. Can't have too many negative plays to get behind the numbers. Yeah, I agree with that. I think they can run the ball. I'm telling you that Matt LaFleur, that zone blocking scheme. Everybody sees all this fancy stuff these guys do, but at their heart, they want to run the football. They want to run the ball. That's what sets everything they do up. So, and we know the Cowboys cannot stop the run. We know this. And like Keefe said, how much you trust them, especially if some stuff happens early, turnover happens early. Here we go. So hang on, Cowboys fan. I know y'all already penciled yourself into the NFC Championship game. I know y'all have already predicted that y'all going to Santa Clara. I know y'all have already said these things. I've been watching. I hear you. Y'all just dismiss everybody, but we're going to San Francisco. Okay, we got it. Okay, we got that. All right, let's move along. We got a few minutes left in this show. Not a few minutes, but a little time left. Let's get to the main course of the evening. Big game in college football tonight. The national championship. The Michigan Wolverines take on the Washington Huskies led by Michael Penix Jr. He has been absolutely sensational. This is an intriguing matchup. This is a Big Ten physical. We want to run the ball, 3 tight ends, fullback. We want to run it. And then Washington is the new school. Spread it out. We got 3 wide receivers. We want to throw it all over the lot, all over the yard. So let's break it down a little bit. I'm going to start with Kiwi first this time. I'll start with Wits all the time, the previous segment. Let's start with Kiwi on this segment. Overall thoughts on both the teams and the game tonight.
Yeah, it's the ultimate contrasting of styles that you look at, like you mentioned there. You got a physical team that likes to run the ball, that likes to shut down the run on one end, and then you got the opposite team in Washington that not just like to throw the ball around, they like to throw the ball down the field. You know what I mean? They got one of the best deep ball throwers that I think we've seen in college football in a while here, and Michael Penix that's playing lights out. They can go 3 deep at wide receiver that match anybody in the country. And that they're proving that here. It should be a good game because of that. Because we got the different styles here. I think it's Washington at some point they're going to have to run the ball to win the game. So can they be physical enough in the run game? You saw a couple of games where they had to get physical in the run game, like against Oregon, they had to run the ball to be able to win that game overall. So the second game and the first game, really. So I mean, honestly, I think they can show up and do what they need to do. If you ask me to pick anybody, I definitely pick. I pick Washington to win tonight because I'm an offensive guy, so I'm gonna go with offense. But one thing that's interesting about this game is you go back over the last 20 years or so. This is only the second time in college football of the national championship game that we haven't had a team from the South. So that is everybody said that the South is all about football. That's the stat that you think about going into this. That's crazy to think about, but yeah, should be an interesting game. I'm looking forward to it for sure.
Wentz, take off.
All right, man. I got 4 impact players for this game. 2 for Washington, 2 for Michigan. The first, of course, Michael Penix. The guy been sensational. He was my Heisman pick. Over 4,600 yards, 35 touchdowns, and QBR of 86% for the year. 6th in the whole nation. The guy has just been phenomenal. But the one guy on offense for him that I'm really looking to see play tonight is Romo Duze. I'm ready to see that guy play tonight. 86 catches, over 1,500 yards, 13 touchdowns. The guy reminds me of, he's like a smaller version of Mike Evans. I really like this guy's game a whole lot. But on the Michigan side, on their defense, they got a cornerback. It's hard for me to pronounce his last name. Mike Saranfield. I hope I got it right. Mike Saranfield. The guy is a ball hawk. We're talking about five picks for the year. Real good. 2 forced fumbles. Also, another guy, Jalen Harrell, outside linebacker, 6.5 sacks. And I think if you're going, for Michigan, you have to be able to get to Michael Penix. You have to be able to get to him, keep him in that pocket. Don't let him get out because he can run. But when it comes down to it, I like Michigan. I think, that team is special. But Washington can put the points up. Michael Penix has just been phenomenal. I'm a huge fan of the guy, and I really think that for the first time in a long time, the national championship is going to the Pac-12. So I'm picking Washington to win the game.
In the Pac-12 team that you mentioned, they're going to the Big Ten next year. So technically, yeah. This is the Big Ten championship game. But I digress. But it's sad. It's a shame. It is an absolute travesty that the Pac-12 has folded up. It's an absolute travesty. I repeat again, that absolutely blows. But this is a line of scrimmage game. Can Washington handle the physicality? I'll just kind of take you back. Hey, we ain't got to go far back. We can go to last year because I'm sure it's the same questions that we had with TCU against Michigan last year. Could TCU handle the physicality? We've seen what type of scores and points that TCU was able to put up, and I don't think their offense is nearly as dynamic as Washington's offense. At least the quarterback position is not even close. Now they could run the ball a little bit better last year with TCU team with Carlos Miller, but I'm with Keith on this, man. I've been. Look, everybody knows. I don't know if people know this, but if I wasn't a Florida Gator fan, I would be a Michigan Wolverine fan. That just started way back in my youth. It's something to do with my Carol Ball Blue Flashes. My high school team actually fight song is their fight song, so I guess that's where it come from. And I'm trying to see this. How can Michigan slow them down? Because if they get behind, I'm kind of with Kiwi. He don't trust J.J. McCarthy. I don't either. If Michigan get down 10 and 14 points, how do they come back? You can't just hand the ball to Blake Corum over and over again. And these offenses, you don't stop these offenses like this. You try to contain them, but this seems like a Joe Burrow 2019 situation, a Clemson 2018 situation, Alabama 2020 situation, where you just had elite offenses that you just cannot slow it. You can't stop it. You can't slow them down enough to win the game playing the way Michigan plays. Even though it would be a great stepping stone for people who say you can't win with defense and running the ball, which we've been saying for the last decade now, you can't do. So I'm going to go with the hot quarterback. I'm going to kind of go back to the Rose Bowl of 04, 05. USC had the better team, but Texas had the better player. And we all know what player I'm talking about. But when Vince Young single-handedly won a game against the better team. So I'm with Keegan. I'm going to ride the hot quarterback. I want to pick Michigan, but Michael Penix Jr. is just throwing the hell out the ball. They got 3 studs at receiver. So I got the Huskies over the Wolverines. tonight in Houston. So before we get out of here,
You got a score prediction?
So now
You got a score prediction?
score.
You got a score prediction?
Score. I'll go 30-23. Washington.
30-23. I got it 35-28.
Yeah, because I just think if Washington gets to 30, if Washington gets to 30, they definitely win it. That's just me. If they get to 30, I think they win. I just do. Let's get some of these comments before we get out of here.
I agree.
Shaq, I think Washington will win because when the game goes down to the wire, I trust Penix more. They've also played more closer games and are battle tested. I trust the better quarterback to make more plays tonight. I think we all kind of own it. We kind of own that, right? Like the quarterback in this situation, and I heard a stat today. Michael Penix Jr. has played 10 games against ranked teams. He's averaged 320 yards passing in each one of those games and threw at least 3 touchdowns. So he's been like lights out against the better team. So it's a shot because I'm with they I think they stole his Heisman Trophy. I think they stole his Heisman Trophy.
They did.
I think Jalen was the better player. We can have a discussion.
I think you're looking at it in hindsight, man. Yeah, you're looking at it in hindsight. It's been a while since Jalen Daniels had played a game. Jalen Daniels played a game, and you just saw Michael Penix last year. So I take that back to the last when Derrick Henry won the Heisman over Deshaun Watson. In hindsight, you see Deshaun Watson playing the championship game, and you know Alabama had no chance against him. You're like, man, how did he not win the Heisman? I mean, yeah, if you gonna do the voting at the end of the season, I would have went with Jaden Daniels as well.
So that begs the question: should we wait till after the bowl game before you name the Heisman?
You should definitely wait after the bowl game to name the Heisman Trophy.
There you go.
You should wait after the national championship game. Championship game.
Yeah. So Shaq says look at these close games. The better quarterback wins most of the time. Michigan has a great defense, but I think Washington prevails late. Spread hasn't moved all week, but Michigan is getting all the money. Darius Ellington says 27-24 Washington. So we should see. I want to pick Michigan. I want to find a reason to pick Michigan. I just don't know if they can make enough explosive plays in the passing game to keep up with Washington. I just don't see it. Them guys on the outside, they don't do that for me. Let's see. We already talked about that. We're kind of spitballing here for the last 8-9 minutes or so. I'll give you a word here, Wentz. Anything on your mind in the world of sports you want to get off your chest right now?
Man, for 8 seasons, I had a guy I could depend on, I could trust. You know, man, it's gonna be rough if the King don't return to his rightful throne in Nashville, man. So, you know, hopefully we can find a way, you know, for him to come back. Hopefully we ain't gotta, you know, pay him a lot of money. I honestly don't want to pay him a lot of money, but I want to find a way we can be able to bring him back with D-Hop. Hopefully in the off season we can snag T. Higgins. We're gonna pray on that and get one of these receivers out the draft, man. And just, you know what I'm saying, I'm just excited for the off season, man. You know what I'm saying? So, but also looking forward to see this championship game tonight. So go Huskies, and let's see what happens.
So Shaq brought up something that was funny yesterday. It was funny to hear the explanation of it. Some people had various opinions on this. I thought it was Bush League. Now I love James because he's funny as shit. I think he's the funniest character in football. He should be involved in pro wrestling. He should be involved in pro wrestling. So I don't like it was Bush League, and I'll tell you why I thought it was Bush League, because they were in victory formation. Everybody keep talking about you gotta stop them. Well, they were in victory formation, and every professional knows. And I'm just picking back out what athletes say. When we go to victory formation, they tell the defensive line we're going to victory formation. So that means the defensive line just stand straight up. They stand straight up. But if you call a play and you fire off at them guys, that's Bush League to me. I'll go to Key with this. What are your thoughts on that play in New Orleans yesterday?
Yeah, I'm along the same line. Yeah, I'm along the same line as you. If they line up in I formation and they trying to score the touchdown, then I get it. Then all you got to do is say, "Hey, I'm trying to get this touchdown for Jamal Williams." But if you line up in the big theory formation and you hand it to him on a trap where nobody actually playing, yeah, it's definitely Bush League. The fact that Dennis Allen didn't even know what was going on, just like how you do this behind your coach back. So I don't know. I don't know about that. That's crazy. Shaq asked a question. I'll answer your question, Shaq. As a Jags fan, you have to pay Trevor Lawrence, not because he's earned a contract, but what's the alternative option of not paying a quarterback and letting him go into free agency? Then you wasted the number one pick. You know what I'm saying? So you wasted 4 or 5 years of development with this guy. So I mean, at this point, you kind of have to pay him, even if you know what I'm saying you don't give him top dollar. You got to pay him. You got to give him something. You got to give what the market, whatever the market is going at for the rate of a quarterback. So something similar to what Daniel Jones got, I would say.
Yeah, everybody always wants to get rid of the quarterback. Always. Now you forget last year when the man took it to the playoffs and had one of the greatest comebacks in history. You forget that already, and you ready to get rid of him. They only about 16 good to great to elite quarterbacks in the league. 16. It's about 16 good to great to elite. The rest of the guys are average to below average. They just are, and borderline backups. So the question always is, who are you gonna get? And like, well, we can get some. Who are you realistically gonna get that's better? Because if you were, they wouldn't be on other teams already. So this notion that people, because I hear Dallas fans always want to run off Dak. I'm like, who in the hell are you bringing in throwing 36 TD passes at 4,500 yards that's not already signed, that's not already locked up? Oh, we like Trey Lance. What? What are you talking about? Trey Lance? What are you talking about? Trey Lance is better than that. You think he's better than that? I mean, it's irrational, man. Like, it's irrational stuff. Like, you have to get. Sometimes you gotta be lucky. Because the Titans took 2 quarterbacks back. Well, they took Malik Willis 2 years ago, and then turned right around and picked up Will Levis. So you never know. The Falcons took Desmond Ridder. I don't think he's gonna be the. I don't think he's gonna be the answer. The Washington took Sam Howell. He's not any good. But you have to be lucky. You gotta be lucky. The 49ers traded 3 first-round picks for Trey Lance. He's not even on the team. Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson.
Right.
These guys, people with these quarterbacks, man, it's crazy to me how people go on and on. Like, you can't knee-jerk reaction to this stuff because there is no other. What are the Jazz gonna do? What are they gonna do? They're gonna be like CJ Beathard gonna be the starting quarterback? I mean, what are they gonna do? Like, really? So
right.
I'll give you guys a couple last words before we get out of here. Kiwi, I'll let you get the your last word before we get out of here.
Fire Trent Baalke. Let's get on to some real winning football, and it will be good from there.
Wes, what you got for me?
Stay home, King. Stay home. Stay home, King. Please stay home.
All right, let me thank these gentlemen, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. That's Kiwi Dennis. That's Wentz Word. And we will see you guys next time on the program. I appreciate y'all. All right. All right, that was Kiwi Dennis and Wentz Woods joining me today on the Overreaction Monday, a championship edition of Sentell. Got a nice championship game tonight. Washington and Michigan. If you haven't liked or subscribed to the program yet, I don't know what you're waiting on. You better do it because your time is running short because the season's going to end. The show is going to end. So you better get in here and do all of that before the program is over with. But I want to thank everyone for tuning in tonight, man. We had a great time. on the show tonight. This has been Sentell, the best damn sports podcast, period. The undisputed champion of sports podcast. I'm the host, the sensational Sentell Whiteman, a.k.a. Mr. No Days Off, a.k.a. the One Man Dynasty. I will see you guys next time you look. Check my Facebook, check my Twitter, check my Instagram for the days and time that you can catch Sentell. So I will see you on the flip side. Enjoy the national championship game. Again, I got Washington 30-23 over Michigan tonight. Should be a fun game. We'll see you next time. I'm out.